Okay, Howard.
Okay, welcome everybody to the working session for the 2021 Parliament House budget. I know it says 2020 at the top. It is incorrect. These numbers are for the 2021 budget. This is a working session. None of these numbers are finalized. These were sent to the my colleagues late yesterday afternoon so that they have time to prepare. There's been no discussion about what we should be doing or not doing. So this is a working session. This is a draft. These are not the final numbers, but it gives us an indication of where we're at right now. So my plan is to go section by section. If you have a question, I'll try to, if it pertains to numbers, I will try and entertain it.
Okay.
So okay.
Before you go on, let me do the call to order.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies. Yep. I'm sorry.
Okay. I'd like to call the order by the presiding officers. Roll call determination of a quorum. Bill Rancheri.
Lorraine is here.
Howard's here.
Rich Marlowe.
Okay, so we have 5 out of our 7. Stu and Patrick are not online. Proof of notice of meeting was on the electronic bulletin boards, out on the door, out on the front, the mail rooms. Approval and waiving of reading of any previous minutes. Anybody want to make a motion?
I second it.
All in favor?
I have to make a motion first. Okay,
I make a motion to waive the reading of any previous minutes.
okay.
I
Second, whatever.
approve.
Everybody in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Howard,
Wait, did
Ron.
everybody say aye? I just want to make sure.
everybody said aye. 5-0.
Aye, yes.
Okay. All right. So we're going to start with the administrative section. I hope everybody can see it. I'm going to go line by line. I know there's a lot of numbers just to give you. So the first column is the general ledger code. Then there's the description of the general ledger code from left to right. Then the third column is the 2020 budget through December. Column 4, December 2020 projected, is the August actual financials, which is the last financials that we currently have, plus an estimate or what I project to be for the final 4 months. The next column is the variance between the original 2020 budget and what I project the actuals to be. The next column is just comments about the 2020 income statement. Why is it higher? Why is it lower? Just some general comments. And then the next column to the right is the 2021 budget. This is based, I've received some input, but this is just where I think it is at this point, and that's what we're going to be discussing today, and some comments about the budget. Okay, so the first line is accounting fees. Last year was budgeted for $9,000. This year we're budgeting for $9,000. Bad debts. Last year we budgeted for $10,000. It turned out that we had a much better year than anticipated due to the collection efforts. So next year in 2021, I propose reducing it from $10,000 down to $1,000. Next charge is bank charges. The next row is bank charges. Budget was $200. Actual was $800. We've had a lot of bank activity. Just for a number, a placeholder, I put estimated $500. Unrecorded P cards. These are really miscellaneous expenses by the office that they have a separate debit card, and these costs should be reallocated in the repairs and maintenance building line item, which we'll discuss later on. So I'm budgeting, my suggested budget is 0. Legal fees. We budgeted $50,000 last year. We're probably going to come in at about $25,000. So my suggestion is $30,000 for next year. Legal fees.
Wait,
Yes.
before we go,
Sure.
did you figure into that the charges for the voting from Becker?
Yes, so that's in there now. But
Okay.
one of the issues that we had is last year is that we thought that might be additional costs related to the assessment, which thank goodness it did not work out to be. So
Okay.
about 25,000, and the same thing in 2019, it was like 23 and change for what I call quote unquote normal legal costs for the building.
Mhm.
Legal shared, I don't know why they posted it to that. I'm not sure what that is. Condo fees is, we budgeted 2,000, actual came in at 225. I'm projecting 1,000. Licenses, permits. So last year we were under budget. We budgeted 3,000, 12,500 came in. And the reason for the variance is the fire alarm, elevator, and other permits for the work that's going on. So I'm estimating if we are going to have projects for next year to increase the budget to 6,000 for next year. Corporate annual report, it's minimal. Management collected, these are offset costs that we're not showing it in the revenue, but whatever costs these are we incur, we do receive back, and it's captured in the revenue line. But for maintenance purposes, we have to show this line. Office supplies. This was a surprise. Budgeted 12,000. Actual what I project to come in is 27,000. So there were unbudgeted expenses, including a banner last year, a portable UVC wand. We made 2 computer purchases for the front desk in the office. Online voting costs. I'm projecting, my suggestion would be 15,000 for next year. Postage, we budgeted 6,000, actual is 468. I estimated 3 mailings plus FedEx at $1,200. Uniforms, we need to discuss whether we will be responsible for uniforms or not. Recreational lease, it's $175,000. Screening fees, we get that back, it's offset against revenue. And coupon statements, $1,000 budget. So, and then we'll talk about it. So on an overall basis for administrative, $278,000 was budgeted. One second, Rich. 272,000 for projected, what I projected to be, and $250,000 is my suggestion. Okay, so now I open it up for administrative. Does anybody have any comments? Let me see. Wait, Rich Lavasio said something. Permits for CAPS project be taken out. Okay, so Rich suggested that we take the permits out for the projects. We should take out of the operating expenses. Except, Rich, these are not for the capital projects. These are for what I call the smaller projects, like that we haven't made an assessment for, including, let's say, the front desk. So that is not part of the assessment. That's part of an operating cost that is paid out of our general
All the other
reserves.
permitting fees were included in the assessment that are for the
Yes.
major projects. So that's where those money should be coming from.
Right. So, do we want to discuss, does anyone have any questions about administrative fees?
No, it looked pretty good.
Okay.
And
Okay with me.
Okay.
so Howard, just for the office supplies, so everybody who's listening, the office supplies have increased because of COVID-19 for all the additional materials.
Okay.
Supplies that we, not that it's all pertained to that, but yet, we do have to buy a certain type of product to disinfect the building.
And did that include the copier?
No, the copier was last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's just, again, we could talk about it, but generally speaking, a 10% lower than last year budget for budget purposes. Next one is our second largest cost is multi-peril insurance. Last year we budgeted $500,000. We're coming in at $479,000. I spoke with our insurance broker, Reamer, earlier last week, and they said what's called a hard market. He anticipated a 10% increase in our insurance costs. So that's what I put in. We can discuss whether we think it's too aggressive or not, but I just put that in. I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Does that include the flood?
That includes flood, property, general liability, and all the other miscellaneous types of coverages.
So I have a question there, Howard. This Reamer Insurance is a company that we got from First Service.
Yes.
As we are losing First Service as a management company, their reduced prices supposedly are going to go away as well, from what I understand. So I don't know if that 550 is a good number, but I think we already started to discuss getting other insurance quotes from new vendors, right?
Yeah, so the answer is I agree with you, Rich. And so generally speaking, 90% of this insurance cost of the actual insurance placement with the insurance companies, their commission ranges between 10 and 15% of the total premium. Last year, supposedly, they gave up some of their commission so that we would have a lower cost. So out of this $550,000, anywhere from $55,000 to $80,000 would be the commission that Reamer would make on us. I could tell you that in general, the insurance market is getting harder with all these catastrophes.
Yeah.
And, I can't predict the future. It's just a guess that I
Now,
think the market's going to harden. Yes.
Howard, on the commission, no matter what insurance company we go to, there's always going to be some type of commission, right?
Absolutely. And that's
Okay.
standard within the industry. Yes.
Yes. Everybody's got to make a living, right?
Yeah,
Everyone has to make a living.
right.
Yeah, no,
We also have to consider all the fires in California. That could raise things.
well, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different issues. There's with property insurance. There's all the hurricanes. There's the fires. I mean, at some point they have to make up their premium out
Right.
somewhere. I can get very technical about this, but at the end of the day, the question is, I think this is a conservative number. Again, if the board decides that we should lower it for maintenance, monthly maintenance purposes, we can discuss it. But this
I
is
don't
just
think we should lower it.
yeah,
no.
it's just a recommendation. That's all.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next one is utilities. Okay, so for items, electricity, we budgeted 170. We're coming in at 151. So our budget, my budget was $150,000. The reason being is our average cost is $12,500 a month. Water and sewer, we budgeted 185. We are projected to be 195 due to increased unit cost per water. Again, we're averaging $16,000 a month. Gas and fuel, we are negative because of the unpaid PICO bill. Just to remind everybody, what happened is in 2019, the building did not pay for any gas costs. And they
Explain why.
Oh, well, because the meter was broken and nobody bothered to check the meter for many different reasons. But they finally caught up with us, and we ended up making the original request, I think, was like $14,000. We ended up settling for about $7,000 or $8,000. So that's what happened with the PICO cost. So including PICO for next year, my recommendation was $18,000 for next year. And the telephone cost, which I do not know the answer, everybody, is we budgeted $11,000. I projected to be $22,000. So we're averaging $2,000. We have been averaging $2,000 a month. I don't know enough why we have the variance, but I'm projecting $12,000, for the year.
But if you say the average is 2,000 a month, why wouldn't we put 24,000?
Well, that's what we paid in 2020, and I have to be honest with you, I have to do a little more research. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, because that would be understating it, because I've seen some of the AT&T bills, and when I go on Advid, it's showing $2,000, $2,000.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the answer is I have to do some additional research.
Okay. On the telephone, that's on my list to get